Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jedi, Sith, Mandalorians, Twi'leks, everything in between, to another exciting edition of Mandomania. Oh yeah, it is a NFL podcast, Mandalorian review show. If you haven't heard it by now or seen it by now, the hell are you waiting for? This is our show where we go over the new episode or the current episode of what's going on in the show The Mandalorian. Now, The Mandalorian's over season 1, so we're gonna go over Disney's documentary series called Disney's Gallery, where they go over the ins and outs of the first season. I am 130, your host. I am very tired. So excuse me if I'm not my usual jovial self. I am your boy GGP, aka Greek God Paparan. Alongside with me, I have the distinct honor of riding the galaxy far, far away with a mean, vindictive, pissed off Sith Lord and a Kung Fu grip, thunder stealing, cool t-shirt wearing medical droid. Let them know who you guys are.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm having technical issues, but more importantly, I am the Dark Lord of the podcast, the Sithari, the Rampaging Reverend Kiss, the Butcher, your boy Spiro, aka Darth Spiridon.
And I am smarter than 21B, more technical than FX7, the God of Stealing Thunder, Dr. Destroyer, Alex Arroyo.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, like we said before, this is the review show for The Mandalorian, which is the first live-action Star Wars series. Season 1 has come and gone and left everyone in awe. It was fantastic. And now we're chomping at the bits for Season 2, to the point where now every week we're hearing more and more new news about this, and everybody just cannot hold back their excitement. They can't contain it. So Disney said, what can we do? Oh, I know. Let's put on a document series about the stuff we already filmed as an appetizer to the main course that's going to happen in the fall, I believe November or December of 2020. So this is episode 4 of Disney's Gallery, The Mandalorian. I believe it's called Practicals. What is it called?
Yeah, practical effects.
Practicals.
Practical.
What
Practical, right? I think it's straight practical.
Excuse me. What did you guys think of it?
Whatever.
One word.
Good?
Interesting.
Okay.
Sleepy?
I am very sleepy.
Definitely.
What can I say about this episode? Fantastic.
Listen,
what do you say?
Yeah. You know what, man? I think that the title is perfect because, you know what, man? Practical, when you're making a movie, a series or something, man, if you can have practical effects, the more practical effects you have, the better it is for everybody involved. For the cameraman, for the actors, for the people in post, you know, it just, everything is more natural, you know. Now, if you can blend practical effects with a little bit of CGI here and there to spice things up, even better, you know. But I you know, if you see these CGI heavy films, I've seen films, you know. I'll give you guys a good example. All right, my company, Handsome Reaper Productions, was hired a few years ago to handle approximately 90% of practical effects and other, you know, things pertaining to the sci-fi film, which will go nameless, but has gone down in history as the laughingstock of independent sci-fi cinema.
Star Wars?
You worked on Star Trek?
Believe it or not, I wish it was fucking Star Trek compared to this shit. Anyways, man, the bottom line is we kept pushing and pushing, my cousin and myself, and my cousin being the props master that he is, I felt his word carried a lot more weight than mine did. And if he said, yo, we got to use this, we got to make this, we got to build that. If not, this is going to be fucking soup salad. Shit salad. So we were able to
The shit
convince
salad tastes.
the oh, dude, you know what? One day I gotta talk about this shit with you guys, man. You won't
Well, I
even
got a
believe it, but
question. I don't mean to
we
cut
were
you off,
able.
but
Yeah,
my question is, does soup salad taste as bad as shit salad? Just asking for a friend.
And do they serve that at Greek diners?
no, they serve it they serve that shit over there where they make fucking Star Trek, the fucking new one coming out. I heard it was gonna be directed by Ryan Johnson, but anyways, the point is we were able. That was a lame ass joke. Anyways, we were able to build a few props because this guy wanted to CGI everything from the fucking floor to the ceiling, and thankfully the scenes where we made the practical props look like they belong in an actual film. The majority of the film, he didn't want to make it, and when he submitted his fucking film for review to a festival, they gave it a thumbs up and thought that it was a spoof or a fucking a parody film, a comedy.
That's hilarious.
And the guy's like, and the guy told them, "Oh yeah, awesome, okay." But then he turned to us and he shit on us and he blamed us for his film, being mistaken for a parody film. So, guys, if you're aspiring filmmakers, if you have the opportunity to get people that know what they're doing, that want to make fucking practical effects, let them make them. The film will be better off for it.
Well, you heard it from the expert, folks.
I'm trying to think of what practical effects were made in Spiro's home movies when he was a young, spry Sith Lord.
He was an up and coming Sith Lord.
Oh man, yeah.
There was a lot of practical effects over there. Oh, goosh, 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 goosh.
Yeah. The casting couch fucking flick shorts,
I heard he used to bust on his couch and called it semen furniture, but that's a story for another time. All right, so last episode was all about technology. This episode was the other side of the coin, which was all about. They flipped the script, and to
just
me,
when you think you got all the questions, I changed the answers.
There we go. I said that line in The Horseman this week and botched it too. I pulled the dog. It was hilarious.
That's great.
So what was I saying? Yeah, so they did the other side of the coin where they were going over all the practical effects. One cool thing that they did say, which I kind of like the terminology they used, they said that Star Wars,
it's like poetry.
The original, no, the the original trilogy was low tech grit. That's what they said. Low tech grit because of the budget they were on, and because it was such low tech grit that it added a certain appeal to these movies and it created a certain ambiance or aura that's very hard to duplicate. But they said that like movies like Rogue One and The Mandalorian has actually have done it, and even Solo, to where it feels like it fits in like George's original vision and type of style. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, on the heels of that, one of the guys was saying that for the original movies, they were renting World War II weapons and they couldn't fuck them up so much. So they had to just like add things to them and modify them, but not completely change it. So they went back to that same drawing board and they did the same exact thing for the Mandalorian, which I thought was a great idea because even in Rogue One, you could see that the computers they use are very like, New Hope. The haircuts they have are very New Hope. Everything around them, they really did a good job of immersing themselves in the whole era, if you will, of Star Wars.
Can you picture
only thing.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only thing from Rogue One that looked higher tech than what we got in A New Hope and all that were the Death Troopers. Their armor was more sleek, and they had a little bit extra of tech and shit on it, but it looked awesome.
I was gonna say, can you picture our favorite Sith Lord on a movie set full of weapons that he can't modify to his highest degree of knowledge and capabilities? Talking about pissing off a Sith Lord.
Nah, the worst part is when somebody... Listen, man, when you work in the films, you wear many hats, okay? One of the hats I wear is... I try to put on two of those, man, but, apparently they don't work, man. Nah. I also train the actors in fucking tactics and handling the weapons. So when I get a motherfucker...
Are we talking about all the female actresses?
So you fucking know about it then, huh? Because that one film that I'm speaking about is like 98%.
Oh no, I was talking.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about you teaching them about handling, the tactics and handling weapons on the casting couch. Exactly. Not legit like.
Oh, my weapon.
Yes. Anyway,
my personal one.
Your saber. Oh my God.
Saber, yeah.
You want to make sure it's nice and oiled. You want to make sure it cocks back and forth.
And if it's not shooting properly, stroke it up and down a couple times.
Exactly.
That'll do it. No, but you know what? It sucks when you get a guy that doesn't even know how to properly shave without making his face look like he got cut up by fucking Jason and shit, trying to tell you how they should hold a weapon or a gun and shit. Anyways, that's for another day. I don't want to drag you guys into this shit. So, man.
Well, they started talking about Queel, the Ugnaught, and the practicality of using a person instead of using a CGI character or a mo-caption suit. And I believe the chick's name that was in the suit is Misty Roses. Misty Roses, or Rosas, whatever.
That's definitely her porn name, by the way.
Dude, she kind of reminded me of Bridget the Midget when they were asking a question. I was like, wait a minute, what? But they showed how difficult it is because she said she had to put the mask on, and the mask wasn't just a mask. It was like animatronics and practical mask, and she had to hear the lines being said into her, and act accordingly, which is very difficult.
That's not the first time someone asked that chick to wear a mask. I got news for you.
Wow.
Again?
Oh,
wow.
I'm sorry, Misty. You look like a wonderful lady. But I'd rather fuck the Ugnaught.
Stick it in. I have spoken.
Shit. Yo, but, that mask looked kind of fucking claustrophobic and shit, man, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, can she even see through that thing?
I don't know, bro. I would have to imagine she has to be able to, but I don't think maybe her vision could be impaired slightly. Like when you wear a stormtrooper helmet, they say it's hard to look out of those things too. Who knows? But she got paid, so
she got paid, man.
She did a great job. She did a great job. I don't know if
she got laid, but she got paid for sure.
Hey, maybe she's married. That's why she don't get laid, But then we can relate with that, can we not? Anyhow.
How do we get to this point?
I don't know. This is such a shit show at a shit show time. It's like soup salad or shit salad. You know what I mean? Hey
It's
Doc,
her charm, bro.
is soup salad canon or is it like Revan, not canon?
It's definitely not canon.
Gotcha. Well, they started talking about Quill, and then they started going into the baby, into the
Yes.
child,
Finally, we get a little child action in this show.
and they
Oh
showed us
shit.
well. Listen, if this is a
Uh,
show about the Roman Catholic Church, we know about all the child since since episode one, just like that. But that's neither here or there. But I like how they were going behind the scenes and they showed all the puppeteers from what was that place called? From Legacy,
Legacy, yep.
that they were used to move the eyes and they had a remote control to move the
Hi,
ears.
my name is Billy. I move the right hand.
And it showed how like what's his name? Filoni and certain directors wanted to do something, so they go through the walkthrough and have to move the hands and all this other cool stuff. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, the behind the scenes and how they came about with the design of Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that part I thought was really cool because they showed like all the drawings that they had done to get up to the point where they were, and just seeing those drawings, I think they definitely picked the right one because like they were going for those big expressive eyes. They didn't want it to have the wrinkles as Yoda had. They had at least one or two of them that they showed that looked a little more like Yoda than it did a baby Yoda. So, but out of all the ones they had shown, for sure, the ones that was the home run was Baby Yoda. So I think that they did a good job picking out the right design for Baby Yoda.
Absolutely. It was based on a design by Chris Osmond, they said, that they finally went, that looks good. And then they start building maquettes about Baby Yoda, see how it would look as a practical puppet. And they finally came up with the look and everything like that. And rest is history. Stole everyone's heart and stole everyone's show. To the point where we had Werner Herzog on
Finally.
on the documentary breaking kayfabe and marking out and telling everybody how great it was working with this little puppet and how much he loved it, and everybody talks to it like
it's a real baby.
Yeah, which is freaky but yet understandable.
Yeah, no, completely. And maybe the thing took on a life of its own, so it makes sense that they that and the reason why it did for us is because it did for them. That's why I think the acting was so natural and the interaction between the Mandalorian and Cara Dune and Baby Yoda was so good because for them it was legit and it was real.
I like the part.
The best was Gina Carano telling her story of how she was explaining it to her parents or something, to
her sister.
To her sister, right?
She said blasters.
What was it she was saying? Oh, yeah.
Then I have a small blaster and then I have a big blaster. And she's like, sister was like, did you say you have blasters?
That's right. I said I got blasters.
I got my ass blastered.
I blast that ass.
Yeah.
It was funny how they wanted to do it too. How what's his name? Johnny Fab says he was working on a show called Gnomes and Goblins, which is like a CGI computer animated show, and that the characters on that show were all telling stories, not with their faces. It was so minimal, through their eyes, their wide eyes and their big ears. And he wanted to use the same idea for Baby Yoda. So that's where everything came about, as far as the concept of having Baby Yoda with the big eyes, looking like what are those things called? Like one of those little dolls the kids collect. You know what I'm saying?
What, the fucking trolls?
The Bratz dolls?
Or whatever. Brats, trolls, or whatever the hell they're called. But then they go into IG-11. And how they used IG-11, and they said it was different from K2SO. They were explaining it at the round table. You had Hal Hickel, who's the animation director, Richard Bluff, who's the visual effects supervisor, and John Knoll, who's ILM effects visual supervisor. And all three of them were saying how they worked with Alan Tudyk. Calm down, Doc. I know it sounds like two dicks, but calm down.
I got real excited for a second.
Yeah, I could tell. You got a little drool over there. Over here. Wiped him out. So how he was doing K2SO and how he had to wear the suit with the mocap and all that stuff, but they couldn't do that with IG-11. They actually used a prop that was on the wheels that was remote control, and their arms could only move like a 90 degrees, and it looked awkward. It looked, but not too awkward.
It was IG 5.5.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool how they went into the stories about that, all that stuff, and they showed, I guess, scenery like when he gets off the boat into the lava and all this stuff, but without all the bells and whistles, and you just see this big thing on four wheels, just rolling through the entrance. So I thought all that stuff was pretty cool, man. I mean,
yeah, for sure. I also like the way they went through the movements of IG-11, where they actually rotated him and had him on on the ball bearing spinning things, whatever. And they were like, that's exactly how I envisioned him moving. And it really worked well for him because, like you said before, there wasn't a person inside there, and the design of the robot was so much different than K2SO or anything we've seen before. And those organic movements for that droid were perfect to be done in practical effects because just the way things turn and things move, they didn't have to do anything else. It looked completely normal and organic, which was great.
You know, it wasn't organic for me. When they're all sitting at the round table and they're discussing the process of putting all this stuff together with the practical effects, and everyone's like sitting there talking, and everyone's nodding and selling what everyone else is saying. But the thing that doesn't look organic, bitch. Yes. That's
cunt.
Good right there. Right away, I saw the Spiro and
ESPN.
I started laughing my ass off.
Bro, I noticed that shit right off the fucking bat. I'm like, look at this bitch, fucking lost, man. This bitch is. Oh my god. And she's trying to make it look like she knows what the fuck is going on. This bitch doesn't know where the fuck she is, but she's acting like she knows on what street she's on and what state and county she is. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Look, dude, I died laughing internally because all these people are talking. You see the passion, you see them, their fandom coming out, and then they pan to her and she's about to say something, and you see the like fakeness in her eyes. You know what I mean? And all I can think about is Spiro just yelling at the TV, eating his chimichanga, getting mad and putting it down, going, "Colo putana, Ixera, Cariola," and all this shit,
Dude, I looked at her face when everybody's talking. Everybody's like smiling and like excited. She's looking like the fucking T-1000 and shit, bro.
Yeah, the cyborg.
like fucking, she doesn't know. Like, fuck, do I smile? Do I fucking open up my eyes a little wider to make it look like I give a fucking shit? But nothing, man. She's just, dude. She's not fucking human. Okay. She's not. I think she's a fucking practical effect and shit.
Well, this is all
CGI to me.
This is all allegedly. So we don't get sued. Allegedly, but me being a fan of everything Star Wars and even Kathleen Kennedy, that's the feeling I got by watching that round table. Like she was just like, it felt forced and corporate and fake. But that's just neither here or there. It was just a little inside joke amongst the NFO because I know Spiro was watching and I felt the disturbance in the force as he was yelling at his TV, cursing her out, and I just thought it was hilarious. Anyhow.
I was about to fucking text you guys too, man. I'm like, nah, you know what? I'll fucking save it and shit.
And then what do? How do they close the show? How do they go home with the show? They go home strong. Just like a good promo guy. He has his like tagline at the end of the promo and he finishes strong. They have the Jedi Master himself, Dave Filoni, finish with a little verbiage where you're sitting under the tree of Filoni, the tree of Jedi and Star Wars knowledge, and you're absorbing everything he says, and everything he says just hits you like UV lights, and it's like UV lights of like knowledge, and you're sitting there, all over my face, neck, and chest. Yes, more and more and more. Please, Filoni. And that was the end of the episode. But again, he finished strong with what he was saying, and you can't disagree with the man.
Nope.
Right, man.
Nope. No. Somebody also said something about when they decided to use the Ugnaught, that I can't remember the exact term they used, but they were talking about, like we're in George's world and we could, he said something about like changing, using things that in the past before. I'm blanking as to what he said, but it really made sense to me how they were talking about how this is George's universe and how they actually, the successful movies, how they've actually used the pieces that he's put together without altering the pieces that he's put together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Sort
Which
of
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, sort of like what? How was it said? What's old is new, kind of, or some shit. I don't know, man. Anyways, you know.
Well, look, they were able to take certain characters, Ugnaught, which is like a D level character. Like if you got an Ugnaught figure, you find it on sale for like $1.99 at like freaking Genevieve's or whatever the case may be back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Or so
Genovese.
no one freaking bought that goddamn figure. No one wanted an Ugnaught figure. That's like having a freaking what do you call it? Joey Tell or Alvin Alvarez signed 8x10. Nobody wants that crap.
That's terrible. Do with that wipe rest with it.
Exactly. But they take it and they make something special out of it. Just like the ice cream maker. It was just a prop. But it's such a deep cut that the true geeks like ourselves marked out when they use it to keep the Beskar in. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Yeah. Even when the bar scene, I think, wasn't in the bar scene, or one of the cantina scene, there was a Wolfman guy in the scene or something like that.
Yeah.
Even the devil guy. The devil guy was the only time we ever seen him in Star Wars is at the cantina scene, right?
Yep.
So they use that as a character, make him a freaking a scoundrel, and you get freaking what's his name, Clay. What's his name? The actor.
Shit, I forgot his name.
Claiborne something, Burn something. I don't know. I remember. Yeah. Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. That's it. And good call. And he's voiced a few people in Star Wars, like Savage Press, etc., etc. But you get him to play that character, and you make something of it. Like even Twi'leks. Twi'leks aren't really used. You know what I mean? They were just dancing for Jabba in the original trilogy. But you make something out of it. So you take what George offers. You don't skew it. You don't go straight from the path. You don't change it. You just add to it, and it just keeps the. How can I put it? It keeps the original ambiance, spirit. There we go. That's a good word. The original spirit alive, but it just takes it to the next level.
Yep.
So.
And just based on that, like, not that we didn't know they know what they're doing before that, but now it's like they fucking get it. Like, we know they get it. Now we know they get it.
Well, listen, to be fair, Filoni, because he's been sitting at the side waiting for to take the throne, he's been known how to get it to say. I mean, look at Rebels. You know what I'm saying? What they did in Rebels was amazing because they used an R2 unit called Chopper. You think you can't like another R2 unit in the Star Wars universe after you seeing R2-D2, right? In the sequel trilogies, they made a whole new robot. They made freaking a ball, which is cool in BB-8. But Chopper's an R2 unit, but it's a total different unit than R2-D2. So different, but yet it's still the same type of scenario that you can love both of them equally. You know what I mean? You can't.
Papa Don loves units.
Oh, especially that G unit, and then they used the original design for Chewbacca, for the Zabrak, for what's his name?
Zeb.
For Zeb, and then one of the episodes in Rebels they actually used the original C-3PO concept as a droid.
From the McQuarrie drawings, yep.
Yeah, so they're going back to the well and they're using a lot of things, man. And
well, they should. It's all there, and it makes sense. Like the source material, and going back to the source material ensures that you are keeping true to the product.
I mean, if you look at the design of Kanan, doesn't even Kanan look like something George Lucas was going to use in the original Star Wars trilogy or the original script when they were still calling him Star Killer and all this stuff? You know what I mean? And Luke was supposed to be an old man, and Han was supposed to be a guy with gills, a green freaking lizard. That type of drawings that they had just in the storyboards. Even Kanan kind of looks like something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's perfect. It's just I don't know how to explain it. He has the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. You know.
Yep.
Anyway, anything else you guys want to add?
I was just very happy that they showed this episode in comparison to last week's episode, where it was completely visual, completely technology, and they went back and showed that they could seamlessly blend the technological aspect of it with the practical aspect of it and make us completely unaware of either, which was great.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I think this is the only movie or the only genre of movies and TV shows now where you can have, it's not just sci-fi, it's not just fantasy, it's a good mesh of everything. Sci-fi, fantasy, space opera, practical effects, new visual effects, CGI effects, great storytelling with characters that you actually can emotionally get attached to, and that you put it all together. That's Star Wars.
The one thing
Indeed.
that I really notice and that I really like is, I mean, we all know this. There are people working on Star Wars that love Star Wars. They want to be there. It seems like this is almost everybody's dream job. And these guys are having a fucking great time, and then I think about myself and my fucking ADHD ass where I'm in the middle of a production and I'm like, I'm ready to move on to the next one. I'm fucking bored and shit, but, so I hope to one day land a project where I could commit myself and invest myself emotionally, mentally, aside from porn, of course, but yeah, man, it's awesome, man. Listen, man, I'm just glad that these are the people who are working on Star Wars, and at the end of the day, man, we're gonna get the best Star Wars that we've seen in decades.
Amen.
Indeed.
Let them know where they can find you boys at.
Find me at Dr. Dr_Destroyo, DESTRROYO, Instagram, Alex Royo MD, Twitter, Alex Royo, Facebook.
You can find my awesome photography, photo editing at Spiro_A. If you just want to follow the fucking Dark Lord, that's Darth_Spirit both on Instagram, Handsome Reaper on Twitter, Handsome Reaper TV on YouTube, and that's it.
You can follow me at Greek Out Papadon on Twitter, Greek Out Papadon on Instagram, Demetrius Papadon on Facebook. Pro Wrestling Tees / Greek Out Papadon is a pro wrestling tee store. You can get your GGP wrestling t-shirts. Greek Out Papadon is the YouTube channel. You can see all my matches and promos. But most importantly, you can find the three of us Tuesday with episode 65 of the New Force Order podcast, talking everything Star Wars. And you can catch us at NFO_podcast on Twitter, New Force Order on Instagram, official New Force Order on Facebook, the website where we sell our merch. So go buy some merch, aka go buy merch, spend some scarol, and support your Star Wars habit by looking so fresh and fly with the NFO gear. And you can even get a couple of things. You get flamethrowers. We even start having NFO Captain America. We have NFO mankinis and bikinis. Anyhow, we even have NFO condoms, but they don't work.
None of us wear them.
Nope. And then you can go send us emails to newforceorder@yahoo.com. We do a segment on the show. The emails is not only pertaining to this segment, but every week we do a segment called Who's Moreover, where we compare two aspects of Star Wars. This week, what are we comparing? Is it the Battle of Hoth versus the Battle of Endor?
Indeed. Those graphics will be up this evening.
All right, so we're going to do the Battle of House versus the Battle of Endor. So you let us know which one you like better. Send us an email, newforceorder@yahoo.com. We do another segment called Tot Toyin, where Doc reviews Star Wars toys. If you want him to review a certain toy, let us know. If you have anything you want to talk about it regarding anything in Star Wars, send us an email. Again, that's newforceorder@yahoo.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving us your time and your ears and your eyes, because it's a YouTube exclusive. So go like this video on our YouTube page, New Force Order. Go subscribe to the page and hit the notification bell. And enjoy, because we hope we entertained you here at the New Force Order. It's all about getting Star Wars more over with you, not us getting ourselves over on Star Wars. Anyhow, when it comes crushing down and it burns inside, it's only one thing, and that's MANDOMANIA running wild. Ooh, yeah. This has been brought to you by the New Force Order.
For life.
And that's just too sweet.